Right, we are shifting focus now, and the latest developments coming in. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is in Denmark, he is in Copenhagen. He landed a few minutes ago, and the visuals on your screen right now are of Prime Minister Narendra Modi taking a private tour of the residence of Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen in Copenhagen. You can also see the Danish Prime Minister along with him. It is this personal bonhomie that the Prime Minister, this relationship that he tends to build with international leaders, that eventually also helps in forging diplomatic ties. Srinjoy Chaudhary joins us for more details. Over to you, Srinjoy. Srinjoy, can you hear me?
Yes, you're right. This is a really big moment because Mette Frederiksen and Narendra Modi have met before. She came all the way to India for a bilateral, successful one. The important point here is that the Danes and also the Indians are showcasing this meeting as a green summit. This is from where the world will become a greener place. This is exactly what the Danes have put out, and the Indians also seem to agree with it, that this is going to be a green summit. The important issues here are cleaning the river Ganges, and the center of excellence is being set up or will be set up in Varanasi, which is the Prime Minister's constituency. There will be similar centers of excellence in Pune and Bombay, one for water and one for green shipping, which will change the way the world will look at things. But apart from these things, we are looking at skill development, we are looking at cultural to 2026, we are looking at mobility of personnel, which means that it will be easier for Indians to get jobs in Denmark and presumably vice versa. But of course, the political issues will not be forgotten. India's position is known, Denmark's position is known, particularly on Ukraine. And both sides will again make their position very clear. India will make it very clear that yes, we want the war to end. And we want there to be dialogue between the two countries. We want humanitarian aid for Ukraine, which badly needs it. And we want things to go by the UN charter. These 4 points will definitely be made by the Indian side. The Danes, let's not forget, are part of NATO. They, Iceland and Norway are part of NATO. Sweden and Finland are going to be part of NATO. So it has to be remembered that the Danes will have a position which is similar to the American position and the British position. But it also has to be said that the Americans and the Brits are also gradually understanding the Indian point of view. When Boris Johnson was here not that long ago, he made it very clear that he understood India's position. And also, when the Americans and the Indians met for the 2+2, the issue about Ukraine came up, and the Americans, both the U.S. Secretary of State and the Defense Secretary Blinken and Austin, said they understood India's position on Ukraine and did not bring up the S-400 issue at all. So if that is so, then very clearly you will not expect any fireworks, because both sides know what their positions are on Ukraine.
And that is the deafness that has now become the benchmark of Indian diplomacy, especially given the post-Ukraine-Russia conflict scenario. We've also got Sushant Sareen joining us on the broadcast. Sir, as the only country apart from the United States that holds summit-level meetings with Nordic countries, how important is this 3-day tour of Prime Minister Narendra Modi going to be? We already saw that his Berlin leg was quite successful. Now he is in Denmark, and the most important one probably coming up next, the France visit.
No, I think all the 3 legs of the visit were extremely important because each of the 3 legs, has a certain significance. France in terms of strategy and defense cooperation, apart from economic cooperation, Germany is a powerhouse in Europe, and the Nordic countries are also extremely important from India's point of view. Now, I've always been a little wary at this stage because given the fact that India has taken a position which is not exactly in convergence with the position in Europe on the Russia-Ukraine conflict. I just hope the Prime Minister's visit is not going to be overshadowed by the Ukraine crisis. Now, the fact that, in the Nordic countries, Sweden and Finland seem to be gravitating towards joining NATO means that this will be a major issue of conversation between the Prime Minister and the Nordic countries. So I think that is one part of it. But apart from that, I think there are very important economic interactions which are needed with the Nordic countries. So we'll have to wait and see what comes out of the summit meeting. But I think it is extremely important that we keep the relationship on track. We don't let these divergences which have come in sully the matters. And of course, there will be some concerns from their side, some concern from our side, which of course partner countries will often talk to each other. So no need to tilt at the windmills on that issue. But other than that, let's wait and see what is the outcome.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Sareen, for joining us with your insights. We're also now joined on the broadcast by Danish, my colleague, who's tracking Prime Minister's trip on the ground. There is also a visit to the Queen expected next, Danish, and we are also given to understand that PM, while he's hard selling India to European countries, focusing on Atmanirbharta, there are around 200 companies that are also helping India in making that Make in India mission possible.
Well, yes, that's right. Around 200 companies are told to be involved in the Make in India process by investing in India. So it's a very key market. And as our guest was saying, that because of the fact that certain Nordic countries are tilting towards the NATO, it's also an opportunity for India to restate its position on Ukraine. But also, in some ways, these countries will try and offer, something that they think India should latch on in their, in order to move away from Russia. So it is a very, I must say, a visit full of opportunities, because yesterday Germany also tried to push European defense companies in a bid to ensure that India does not remain dependent on Russia for defense products. So in a way, this is an opportunity for India as well to see what these countries have to offer, because as we know that the stand that India has taken on Ukraine is different to what these countries have. So it's a visit full of opportunities. But after this meeting, which is happening between both the Prime Ministers, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will move for an Indian diaspora event very soon, where he will be again addressing members of the diaspora. We understand that again it's going to be a huge attendance. After that, again, there is a reception in his honor by the Queen Margaret of Denmark. The Prime Minister will be attending a dinner at the palace, which is, of course, a private and exclusive event, and that's where he will also continue with the deliberations. So, again, a packed schedule of the Prime Minister. Tomorrow he is here as well, and then he will fly later to Paris to meet Emmanuel Macron, who's just been re-elected for a second term as the French president.
And the tone and tenor of these interactions is also going to draw a lot of attention, Danish, because coming on the back of India walking a diplomatic tightrope where we really haven't seen eye to eye with all these European nations when it comes to taking a stand on Ukraine-Russia conflict, would you say that India now is speaking from a position of strength, because we have been quite sure-footed in what we want from our relationship with the countries across the world?
Well, yes, absolutely. As on various forums in different parts of the world, across the continents, Indian representatives, right from the Foreign Secretary to Union Cabinet Ministers, have spelled out India's philosophy that guides India's stand, the New Delhi stand on Ukraine. And as I've been saying, this visit by the Prime Minister again is an opportunity for India to present its case on Ukraine, to present their side of the story from no less than the Prime Minister himself. So again, it is, of course, as I said, an opportunity for India to spell out its priorities, but it's also reflective of the fact that India does not want to follow the West or any other economic superpower to dictate its foreign policy. India and Russia go back a long way in time, and it is in India's interest also to continue having its relationship, an ongoing relationship with Russia. Although I must add that Prime Minister Modi has specifically said that civilian deaths are condemnable and that violence has no place in society.
There are no winners in this war is what the Prime Minister had said in Berlin earlier, but India has decided that it is going to put Indians' interests first, come what may. Thank you, Danish, for joining us with your inputs. We take a very quick